Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Faheem, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Faheem.
I'd like to thank Mr. Marshall Thompson for being our special person of the week. Back to you, Mohammed.
Thank you so much, Sheila. Thank you so much. And folks, you're tuned in to the Lightning Strike. We come every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on WCPT, Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio station. You can also watch us live on the WCPT Facebook feed, and you can listen to us live worldwide on heartlandsignal.com or WCPT820.com. You can ask your smart speaker to play WCPT. Also joining me today in the morning now is Joe VanDuyne. Joe, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. My name is Joe VanDuyne, and I am the speaker of the Will County Board focused in Joliet, Illinois.
Thank you so much for joining us, Joe. So let us dive right into the weeds, Joe. What is happening with Will County and the budget of Will County?
I'm so glad you asked. So we've had.
I see you chugging from a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew. So
Diet Mountain Dew, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
It gets me going this morning before the Chicago Bears game today.
Okay.
We. On November 20th, we did pass a budget, but let me start from the beginning. Back in April, we started talks about the budget at Will County. Last year it was over $800 million budget. Our county executive had cut the budget this year by close to $24 million already. So. The current CPI is about at 2.9%. So she provided a budget that was at 2%. Well, our board is made up of 22 individuals and 11 Democrats and 11 Republicans. The Democrats were totally fine with the 2% levy, feeling that it was a need to capture some revenue to pay for our services, and the sheriff's department, the coroner's department, the highway system. The Republican side felt that they wanted to follow Governor Pritzker's lead and try to slash everybody's budget by 4%. So irresponsibly, they decided that they wanted a 0% levy. So back in April, we started these talks. I should say that we attempted to start these talks. I heard zero from the other side of the aisle for months and months about where they were going, what they were looking for at the 0%. And then at the last minute, they dropped this bomb. And actually, we had a far left progressive that actually went to the other side and agreed with them because she felt she was not getting support from the Democratic Party and is kind of being selfish and wanted to realign herself to get what her needs and what her wants were.
Joe, we like to take names over here, so because this is the lightning strike, and we want to throw lightning and some light on these shenanigans that are going on over here.
I'm sorry, I've never been that type of person. I will let you all do your own homework. I don't like to throw shade at personal names.
We'll let you pass on this time, but we got Reed Bible also, former Will County board member, who's part of our team. So Reed understands the dynamics of what is happening with the Will County board.
Absolutely, Mohammed. This takes me back to 12 years ago when I was on the board and we had the levy issues. And at that time, the big deal was that we had county employees who are providing services that the residents of Will County definitely depend upon, from courthouse operations to the Department of Public Health to needing to have a public safety campus. with a decent place to store evidence that the sheriff might collect in an investigation. And we had employees that had not had a raise in about 5 years. So we were going to wind up having to cut services that the people of Will County definitely need if we couldn't have a slight increase in the levy.
Okay, so let's get back to Joe. And Joe, I see that your name is showing up as Big Joe XR.
Yeah. Well, I have two children, and my
Okay.
son is Joe. So he
Okay.
named my phone. I have an XR iPhone, so that's kind of
Okay.
what he put me at. So yeah.
So do you mind if I change that out to what your real title is?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
And it's and your last name is D.
No, it's Van Dyne, VAN,
Yep.
capital DUYNE.
Okay. UYNE. And it's one word, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
folks, we got Joe VanDuyne with us, Will County speaker now, talking about the recent how do I put it? I don't want
Debacle.
to.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, County services, very important. And the county executive is trying to bring in a budget that is balanced. And now our friends from across the aisle, with one of our people joining them, say no. What is the rationale behind it, Joe?
They just, it's like they want to say 0%, right? So I think it's a soundbite for, we got an election in a year from now, and I
Mhm.
think at the county level, it's really not supposed to be bipartisan. We provide services for our residents. It's not even, it's not at the level at the state or the federal government where you have to be partisan and that. We do county highways, the courthouse system, capital improvements. We provide funding for the sheriff and the coroner's office. It's like it's basic needs
And I
for
think
for
recently the voters also approved uh, the Will County Mental Health Board.
Yep, and in the last 2 years, yeah,
Yeah.
it's called the 708 board, and we provide funding because, mental health these days is skyrocketing. I have
Yes.
personal experience with that. I'm sure every listener probably has somebody, or maybe even themselves, that they have some issues and it needs to be addressed, and it's nothing that anybody's ever asked for. It just happens. So the last 2 years, we've always fought with the Republican Party about providing funding, and they've always managed to lower the amount of money that we're given to this board to to send out to different entities to help with mental health. So of course they slashed that another $2 million this year. Um, it's I don't I don't really know their reasoning. I just think it sounds good, right? 0% levy. We got to
Right.
lower our taxes. And one of the loudest members from the other side doesn't even own his own home and has never paid property tax, but he claims that he goes and speaks to all these voters, and he's like the biggest mouthpiece for them. It's very, very irresponsible government. Here's one thing. We first passed the budget first, which
Mhm.
had a 2%, I'm sorry, a 1.75% levy.
1.75. Yep.
Yes, which was my way of trying to do a little compromise from zero. I said, well, I think we can make a 1.75% levy work to draw in, the minimal revenue that we need to provide all these services. But they just they're staying strong on the 0%, and now we passed the budget, but we're $2.8 million in the hole, and we really don't know how to fund it.
Well, they on the other hand are claiming that there are reserve funds that you could pull from. So how do you answer that?
Well, yeah. So I've been asking for 2 months from the other side of the aisle, give me your cuts. Let's talk about them, and I've heard crickets. um, until Thursday, when all of a sudden they decided they come up with all these ideas. And one of our progressives came up with a budget She claims that she could cut $26 million off of the current budget right now, and she
Whoa.
even admitted that it was just it's not feasible. Just so basically, they want to claim that they're not going to cut services or employment. They want to cut paper, staples, ink. Um, but then they want to turn around and give cannabis dollars to the county clerk, who happens to be a Republican, and spend $260,000 on a ballot machine. They want to give
Oh,
the regional superintendent 300,000 or something to put protective tinted windows on some of the schools, and it just I think those are luxury items. We really need to sit down and figure out actual services that the county needs, and there are Republicans and Democrats that need these services.
absolutely. Joe, thank you so much for enlightening us. So just between you, me, the lamppost, and 150,000 listeners that we have nationwide
Right.
listening to the show now, and when we go into our reruns also, I guess there is somebody at the state level who's really egging on our one progressive over here to create this mess, and I'm going to leave it at that. You know who
Hmm.
I'm talking about.
Hmm.
I know who I'm talking about, and Read
Yeah.
Bible knows who we are
I
talking
know,
about
I,
over
I know
here.
who she is. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll give
so
you my hand. I know who she is.
okay, hey,
uh,
uh, let's leave it at that. Okay, so thank you so much
mm,
for joining us, and folks, Joe VanDuyne, Speaker of the Will County Board, enlightening us on what is happening in Will County with the budget brouhaha. That is the word I was looking for. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
Sunday morning, it's 8:32. Any wise words you want to leave us with, Joe?
well, not I'm not a wise man by no means. I'm a union electrician that happened to love to serve and got fortunate enough to be elected the speaker of the board. It's been a challenge, but I do will tell you this. Listening to the other side, and they wanted to make cuts, so I automatically slashed $50,000 out of our county budget, and that will eliminate all the travel, all the lodging, and conferences that we as a luxury get to go and participate. And I said, if you want to make cuts, we're going to start with ourselves. So this those dollars are going to be on the backs of the county board members if they wish to participate. So I feel like as speaker, I did my part slashing the budget, but I'm getting zero answers from the other side, and it's very disturbing, and we're a split board. And it's, the elections are coming up in a year, and I hope folks can come out and try to get the right people elected, because this is very, very irresponsible government.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, on that note, folks, remember elections are coming up. We have got midterms also coming up, and please pay attention. Get registered to vote, and not just get registered to vote. Ask your friends and your family who are not registered to register to vote, and then make sure that they come out and vote. The last election, the voter turnout was less than 20% in Will County.
Hmm.
So basically, we are letting the tail wag the dog. And that is where all of these troubles are coming in with people who don't really have the best interest of the residents of Will County, but it's all about partisanship. And that is something that I want you to take away from this conversation, folks. Joe, thank you so much for joining us. We'll continue the
Absolutely.
conversation with Read Bible, and thank you again for coming on the show. And I'll make sure that we get the word out for the next elections that we have got to get the right people in.